Hello. Mental health and wellness is an important topic which is even more pronounced during the pandemic. My name is Josh Pulls, and I'm a school counselor at Appleton West High School. At Appleton West, part of our faculty and staff's professional development centers around creating a positive learning environment for students who struggle with mental wellness. We have also partnered with community resources to bring about mental health and wellness fairs and community events to educate our students and community to take a proactive approach to positive mental wellness. The pandemic presents challenges to coming together as a community to discuss this important issue, which is why we are proud to announce that we will be starting a virtual mental wellness web series in conjunction with our partners at Prevent Suicide Fox Cities and Kahtoola Health. It is our sincere hope that our students, families, and communities find this series beneficial and that we can continue to empower our community to discuss how we can best partner with one another to improve mental wellness for our students and for everyone in our community. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you find these topics helpful and interesting. On behalf of Appleton West, Prevent Suicide Fox Cities, and Kahtoola Health, thank you for engaging in these courageous conversations. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea Lewis. I'm a travel and outdoors reporter for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. I've been writing about the outdoors for about 10 years, but I've always loved getting outside. My parents took us camping when we were kids, my brother and sister and I, and we were really lucky that we got to spend a lot of time outside. But getting outside in the winter, that's a little harder, even for me. And sometimes it's really tempting to just sit on the couch all winter, not do anything, not leave the house, stay where it's warm. But I find that when I do kind of force myself to get outside, even in the winter, I just feel better. And there's a lot of research that shows that spending time outside does have healing powers. It can improve sleep, it can reduce depression, it can even help reduce mortality from things like cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Even just 20 minutes outside has been shown to reduce stress hormones. But even knowing all that, it's still really tempting to just stay inside, especially if you don't regularly go outside, even in warm weather months. But that's what I hope to encourage you to do today. I'm going to provide some tips on what to wear, where you can go, things to just help you feel more confident about going outside, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy it then. So one of the first things is clothes. And ironically, you don't want to be too warm when you go outside, because if you're too warm, you'll start sweating, and sweat is your enemy in the winter because sweat, what its job is to cool you. So once it starts cooling you down, you're going to be cold. So to kind of avoid that, the key with winter clothes is layers. That way you can take off a layer if you get too warm, or you can put on another layer if you are too cold. The thing is, you don't have to spend a ton of money on winter clothes. You don't have to get these like expensive performance fabrics or go to the expensive outdoor stores. You can, and this time of year is a good time to go if you want, because they have a lot of sales on winter clothes. But you can also find a lot of great stuff at thrift shops. Wool is a really good fabric for winter because it's really warm and it repels water. It doesn't hold on to water. So you can find, like Grandpa's old wool sweaters at thrift stores, or maybe in the back of Grandpa's closet. So yeah, the first thing you want to do is get a base layer, and the key is to avoid cotton because cotton holds on to water. Again, that whole like water cooling you thing, you don't want that. So I typically will wear some kind of thinner spandex, polyester fabric, things like this. You can go to REI and find something like this. You can also find it at Target, Kohl's. Then on top of that, you can throw a sweater, maybe a wool sweater. Or if it's not too cold out, that might be good enough for a base layer. Then for your jacket, you want to make sure that it is wind resistant and waterproof, or water resistant. Nothing's truly waterproof. This might be one of your more expensive purchases. But a good coat, if you have a good coat, you might not need too many layers underneath it. Then on the bottom, you want layers again. to some kind of long underwear, maybe. Again, that polyester spandex fabric is good. And then again, you want something that's wind or water resistant. It doesn't have to be snow pants. You don't have to go out and buy expensive snow pants. Try and avoid jeans if you can, but if not, that's okay. If you're not, as long as you're not rolling around in the snow, whatever keeps you warm. These are some good kind of wind resistant thinner pants that I can fit a second pair of pants underneath. If it's cold or snowy, I do wear snow pants, but you don't always have to. Then for your hat and mittens. Of course, hopefully most people are listening are from Wisconsin, and you have hat and gloves and stuff. I like a good hat with some flaps. You can tie it down around your chin if you need to. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Mittens are really great. They're going to keep your hands way warmer than gloves. If it's not too cold out, gloves will totally do, but mittens are how you stay warm when it's really cold out. If it's super cold, there are things called balaclavas, and these are kind of like ski masks. You might have known them as. They pull down all the way over your face. Let's see if I can get this on. Ugh. Oh yeah. So I can pull it over my nose. I don't think this is exactly COVID safe, but weather safe. And then this hat will even fit right on top of that. Get extra warmth. Tie that up. Good to go. So that's hat and mittens. Woo! Sometimes I'll also wear a scarf. Keep the neck warm. A nice alternative to a scarf is something called a buff or a neck gaiter. And this is just kind of like a thin fabric. You probably have seen people wearing these as masks. They are not good masks though, because they do let some air out. But I'll pull it up over my nose if it's a little chillier out. And it provides a little extra warmth for the nose. On your feet, of course, warm socks are key, and wool socks are the best. So get some nice warm wool socks. You can pretty much find them at any store in Wisconsin. And then you probably do want some waterproof boots. I like Sorels are a good waterproof boot. Gives you a little protection from the snow and slush. And I like taller boots too, because then it prevents the snow from getting inside if you're going to be hiking through snow. So that's clothing. The next thing is gear. Well, a lot of your gear is going to depend on what you want to do. If you're new to getting outside in the winter, you don't have to plan some huge outing to the forest, and you can just start with a simple walk around your neighborhood. And that way, if you are cold or miserable, or turns out you don't like it like you thought you wouldn't like it, you can just go home. But if you do want to venture further from home and you maybe need a little more gear, it's probably not what you think. A lot of people ask me, oh, what kind of snowshoes should I get? What kind of skis should I get? And I usually say, pump the brakes on the snowshoes and the skis. If you're going to get any kind of gear for winter hiking in Wisconsin, go with Microspikes. So Microspikes kind of look intimidating. It looks like a bear trap or something. Basically, you just put these on the bottom of your boots. So they look like this. And they give you some extra grip when you're walking on those slippery trails. Most trails in Wisconsin get pretty packed down. We don't get a ton of snow, especially in southern Wisconsin. In northern Wisconsin, you might get some deep snow, and then you might need some snowshoes. But in southern Wisconsin, Microspikes are much more helpful for walking in the snow. They'll give you that good grip, help you not slip. A lot of people even wear them for walks around their neighborhood. Some popular brands are Kahtoola, and then there's also things called Yak Trax, which are a little less intense than these bear trap things. So yeah, consider getting those. If you really do want to try snowshoeing or skiing, there are a ton of places that rent gear. In southeastern Wisconsin, we have something called the Urban Ecology Center. If you're a member, you can actually borrow a lot of that kind of gear for free. A lot of outdoor stores will rent gear. the REIs, sometimes Cabela's, things like that. Just check with your local store. Also, a lot of nature centers, smaller nonprofits will either lend out or rent gear. So wherever you're going, just maybe see if they have gear available for rent. Give it a try before you buy it. If you really like it, this time of year, end of the season, is another good time to buy that kind of gear. Okay, so you have your clothes and gears, and you want to go somewhere beyond a just simple walk in your neighborhood. So where should you go? Well, Wisconsin has an amazing state park system, and it's really fun to see places you might visit in the summer in a whole new way in the winter. I even like to go to the beach. You wouldn't think of the beach as a winter destination, but one, it's a lot less crowded, and two, it's really different. A lot of times, especially along our lakes, Lake Michigan, the ice builds up in really cool formations along the shore. This is Cave Point County Park in Door County. It has some really cool ice on the rock formations there. This is Calumet County Park on Lake Winnebago. Some big ice shoves build up along there in the winter sometimes. This is from a few years ago. And then Port Washington, the harbor there's some cool ice that often builds up along the shore. This is some drone footage of Lion's Den Gorge in Ozaukee County. It's one of my favorite places to go hiking in the winter. It's really beautiful, the ice along the lake there and the bluffs. If you really want deep snow and you really want to get into the woods, northern Wisconsin is the place to go. We have a big national forest, the Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest, and there's also the Northern Highland American Legion State Forest, a lot of trails in those forests. You can look at the DNR website, and there's a lot of suggestions for places to go snowshoeing and skiing. And they also have a trail conditions page, so they'll kind of tell you what the trails look like. Make sure you check that before you get out. So you decided, okay, I'm going to go out for a hike in the middle of the woods. What else do I need? Well, you do want to bring a couple extra things. Make sure you have enough water and that you drink enough water. It's really easy to forget to drink water in the winter. That sounds dumb, but you shouldn't be sweating as much, so you just don't feel as thirsty, but you definitely need to drink a lot of water. I like to carry mine in kind of an insulated thermos because then it won't freeze. If you're not going out for too long, it shouldn't freeze unless it's very frigid and you're out for a while. You also want to maybe bring a couple snacks. Your body's going to burn a lot more calories when you're outside in the winter. It's trying to stay warm, so it's burning a lot more calories. Nuts are really good because they're high in calories and pretty lightweight, give you a lot of bang for your buck. Chocolate is great, but it can freeze depending on how cold it is. You also don't want to forget sunscreen. It's easy to forget sunscreen in the winter, right? You're not going to the beach, or maybe you are. But the sun can actually be just as or more intense than in the summer as it reflects off snow and ice. So make sure you put on some sunscreen before you head out. A flashlight is actually a good idea to bring too. You never know. You might get stuck out there a little longer than you thought. The sun sets a little earlier in the winter than it does in the summer. If you have a little flashlight, it doesn't hurt to bring it along. Your cell phone can of course also serve as a flashlight, but your phone is probably going to be serving map duty. So before you go out, make sure you download a map of the trail that you're on just in case you don't have service. I also like to carry a paper copy of a map just in case my phone dies or I drop it in a river or something else happens to it. It's good to have a backup when you're outside. Phones do die a lot faster in the cold, if you haven't noticed, because the cold drains the battery a lot faster. It's good to keep your phone on like an inside pocket of your jacket if you have one. You can also throw those chemical hand warmers in a pocket or throw those in your gloves. Those are great for your gloves or your boots. If you're going to go out alone, make sure that you tell someone where you're going and when you expect to be back, and then check in with them when you get back. That way, if you don't, they can maybe reach out to someone and see if you might need help, just in case something goes wrong. If you don't want to go out alone, but you can't find anybody to go with you, there are a lot of great groups out there that host group hikes and events. Of course, there's a lot fewer right now during COVID, but There are Facebook groups like Women Hiking Wisconsin is a good one for women. There are a few Ice Age trail groups. Look for one in your area. And then a lot of the state parks properties will host events throughout the year, again in non-COVID times, but you can check the DNR website and there's groups and events on there. Outdoors people are usually very welcoming and they really want to introduce other people to the outdoors. So don't be afraid to go by yourself and make friends. I've gone many times by myself and met people and it's always a good time. And you know what? If you don't want to talk to people, you don't have to. You're outside. You're just taking in nature, enjoying it. So I hope that this has been helpful for you and maybe inspired you to get outside in the winter. If you do have more questions about how to get outside safely and enjoy it, you can find me on Twitter. My handle is Chelsea Lou. That's Chelsea with a Y. And then you can also email me on my at the Journal Sentinel at clewis@journalsentinel.com. Thanks for watching, listening, and happy hiking.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that you found the information useful and that you'll be able to use it in your everyday lives. We do ask that you fill out a short survey, and you'll find the link to that survey in the description at the bottom of this video. We'll use this information to help plan future web speakers and really to make sure that we tailor this to your needs. So please fill out that survey, give us your feedback. We hope again you enjoyed and that you found this information useful. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and great rest of your year. Thanks.